The search for an ideal order has been reflected in written works over time, and one of the most famous examples of this is Plato's The Republic. We have gathered 20 quotes from this work, which features Socrates' dialogues on various subjects. It is inevitable for those who suffer wrongdoing to lose some of their righteousness. If a person is caught committing wrongdoings, they are punished and greatly condemned. For those who engage in various corruptions are labeled according to their crimes, such as temple thieves, human traffickers, burglars, robbers, and thieves. But those who not only seize the possessions of their fellow citizens but also drag them into slavery are not given these ugly names. How can I determine whether righteousness is a virtue, or whether the person who possesses righteousness is fortunate or unfortunate, without knowing what righteousness truly is? Let's give both the just and unjust man the freedom to do whatever they want, and then follow them to see where their desires will take them. Surely, we will catch the just man pursuing the same goal as the unjust, driven by a desire to gain more than others. Fathers tell their sons to be righteous and show them the path of righteousness. Guardians do the same. But they praise righteousness not for its own sake, but because it brings fame. They want their sons to appear righteous so they can gain high positions, marriages, and the other rewards of righteousness that Glaucon just listed. You all call yourselves defenders of righteousness, but when you condemn injustice and praise righteousness, you only care about the fame, honor, and rewards they bring. As for what righteousness and injustice truly are in the soul, hidden from both humans and gods, you have not shown us in your poems or daily conversations that one is the greatest of all disasters, while the other is the greatest blessing for the soul. If you had told us this from the beginning and made us believe it when we were young, we would have watched over each other to prevent injustice. Every person would fear living under the same roof with the greatest of all disasters and would guard themselves against it. A dog determines whether what it sees is a friend or an enemy based on whether it recognizes it. Therefore, it has the ability to learn, as it distinguishes between familiar people and strangers based on recognition or lack thereof. The most important point of everything is the beginning. People are always afraid that engaging with philosophy will cause them headaches and dizziness, so they say that philosophy leads to these ailments and should be avoided. This excessive caution in avoiding philosophy prevents people from seeking virtue in any way, because it makes them feel sick and causes constant aches and pains in their bodies. Harshness comes from the strength of the soul, but if this strength is properly developed, it gives rise to courage. If it is stretched too far, like an overstrung bow, it leads to unbearable severity. If a city gathers all the wealth of others, be careful, for this wealth may pose a danger to those who are not rich. The truly foolish are those who think anything other than wickedness is ridiculous. They mock and laugh at things other than the state of a mad or ill-natured person, and they seriously seek beauty outside of goodness. There will be no end to the troubles of states or of humanity itself until philosophers become kings in this world, or those we now call kings and rulers genuinely and adequately become philosophers, and political power and philosophy thus come into the same hands. States treat the wisest people with such injustice that you could hardly find a parallel in the world. Whether rich or poor, the sick go to the doctor's door, and those in need of a leader seek out someone capable of command. A truly useful leader does not go around begging people to follow them. A person who doesn't know what is good or why something is good cannot protect what is good and beautiful. In fact, I would say that no one can truly know what is right and beautiful unless they first know what is good. We must be very careful to distinguish between those who are born with a distorted nature and those who are born with an upright one in terms of moderation, courage, magnanimity, and the other virtues. Otherwise, those who choose people or states blindly may end up befriending or appointing the lame and the weak as leaders. A free person should never learn anything in a servile manner. While forced bodily labor does not harm the body, nothing learned under compulsion stays in the mind. The sweetest pleasure is the pleasure of the knowing soul, and the person who is dominated by this part of the soul lives the sweetest life. Like those who, because they do not know white, think that anything that is not black must be white, those who do not know pleasure assume that the absence of pain is the opposite of pain.